From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, I'm Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Friday, November 10th. Going to see some cloud cover, but it'll move out of here throughout the morning, and then we're going to have mostly sunny days. Winds are going to be a little breezy. Highs are going to get into the mid to upper 50s. Police believe a woman found shot this morning at a Northwest Side apartment in Indianapolis was targeted. IMPD says it happened at 2 this morning on Dogwood Circle East near 86th and Michigan Road. Investigators believe there is no wider threat to the public. We're told the woman is stable at the hospital. No word yet on any arrests or suspects. Israel says it will start announcing 4-hour pauses of its assault on Hamas in northern Gaza. That's according to the White House, which says the agreement is the first step in easing the humanitarian crisis there. Ahead of the timeouts, Israel escalated its airstrikes overnight. Strikes landed near hospitals as the military pushes deeper into dense neighborhoods. Growing numbers of Palestinians have been living in and around hospitals, hoping it will be safer than their homes or United Nations shelters. Israel says militants are also hiding in the hospitals. The leader of the United Nations human rights effort now says both Hamas and Israel have committed war crimes. Israel says it'll give 3 hours notice to specific neighborhoods each day for the 4-hour pauses to let Palestinians travel south. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reiterated last night that there will be no ceasefire without the release of hostages Hamas is holding. The U.S. Senate has passed a resolution condemning Hamas and calling on the group to release all hostages. Indiana Senator Todd Young is part of a bipartisan group that co-sponsored the measure. Yesterday's resolution calls the attack on Israel premeditated, coordinated, and brutal. The head of the FBI says antisemitism is reaching historic levels, and the Bureau's Indianapolis office says that's raising concerns. The Anti-Defamation League says regionally it's taken at least 312 reports of anti-Semitic acts since the October 7th attacks in Israel. The FBI says it's working closely with state and local law enforcement agencies to track down any potential threats. Democrats are dealing with a blow as Senator Joe Manchin announces he will not run for re-election next year. The 76-year-old has been the only Democrat to be elected in West Virginia for the last few years, and him leaving his seat will make it more difficult for Democrats to maintain control of the Senate. Manchin announced his decision on social media yesterday. Although he's stepping down, he says that he is not stepping away from politics in general. He says he'll be canvassing the country, looking for support for a more central idea as far as politics are concerned. And West Virginia had reliably voted Democrat until it flipped red to support former President Donald Trump. Steve Bannon is appealing his criminal conviction in the January 6th committee contempt case. Last July, a federal jury convicted the longtime Trump ally on 2 counts of contempt of Congress. It stemmed from accusations he ignored a subpoena from a House committee's investigation into the insurrection. Bannon's attorney argued yesterday that Bannon was simply following advice of his counsel and, as a former Trump advisor, should have been allowed to exert executive privilege as part of his defense. Federal agents are searching for whoever sent suspicious packages to election offices in 5 states this week. Investigators say at least 4 had fentanyl in them. The FBI says the letters were sent to offices in Oregon, Georgia, Nevada, California, and Washington. Authorities intercepted some of them. CNN reports authorities in Fulton County, Georgia, are trying to intercept an incoming package. An election office in Lane County, Oregon, reopened after getting a suspicious package. Officials there say no one there has gotten ill. A former Indiana state lawmaker is set to plead guilty to a federal fraud charge. According to court documents, Sean Eberhardt took a plea agreement yesterday. He's facing charges for conspiracy to commit honest services fraud. Honest services fraud is most commonly used in public corruption and bribery cases, although details in this case haven't been released. As part of the plea, prosecutors are recommending the lowest possible federal sentence, and Eberhardt is agreeing to pay a $60,000 fine. Eberhardt served in the State House of Representatives for 16 years before retiring last year. The Indiana Supreme Court is giving the Delphi murders judge more time to respond to the defense's call to remove her from the case. Judge Frances Gold says she's looking for an attorney to represent her since the Attorney General's office declined. Richard Allen's defense team filed an objection to the additional time yesterday morning. As we've reported, Allen's attorneys have also asked the Indiana Supreme Court to reinstate his original lawyers. Allen is accused in the 2017 Delphi murders of Abby Williams and Libby German. The family of Herman Whitfield III is filing a state-level lawsuit against the city of Indianapolis now. As we reported, Whitfield died in police custody in April of 2022. In the suit, Whitfield's parents claim they watched IMPD officers kill their son by using excessive force while he was dealing with a mental health crisis. The coroner ruled his death a homicide. 2 officers have pleaded not guilty to charges in Whitfield's death. A similar lawsuit is pending in federal court. Firefighters in Columbus say no one is hurt after an acid spill forced 200 people to evacuate. It happened yesterday morning at Rightway Fasteners just southwest of I-65 and State Road 58. Officials say picric acid spilled, which could have led to an explosion. A police bomb squad called in an excavator to dig a hole in a field nearby, then placed 40 road flares and the acid in it, and got rid of the danger through a controlled burn. Employees returned to work about 5 hours later. Veterans Day celebrations kick off in Marion County today. The Speedway School's Veterans Day stepped off at 8:30 this morning on Allison Avenue. The Indianapolis Veterans Day Parade starts at noon. The parade will proceed around the Legion Mall and Indiana War Memorial, where spectators can show their support. 54 points from NBA superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo was not enough to beat the Pacers on the City Edition court at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The court looks slick. The Pacers scored early and often during the first half last night against the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee fought back to take the lead in the fourth quarter. Didn't stop the Pacers, who eventually won by 2 points, 126-124. Pacers will play the Philadelphia 76ers 2 times next week, Sunday and Tuesday, before returning home for the Orlando Magic. And Indiana's largest holiday shopping event is underway at the State Fairgrounds. More than 300 vendors are set up for the 74th Christmas Gift and Hobby Show. Started November 8th, runs through the 12th. You can see cool shows, get pictures with Santa, a lot more fun stuff. It's $14 to get in. You can go for free for 12 and younger. Senior citizens can get a discount of $10 from November 9th to 11th. You can only get that deal at the ticket booth. Friday, if you're a veteran, that's today, or in the military, you can get in and park for free if you show them your ID. If you're military, you can get a free milkshake, too, until 2 o'clock at the Dairy Bar. The sights and sounds of Christmas make a return to the State Fairgrounds as well. Christmas Nights of Lights opens for this season. Organizers have been putting up the trees, arches, and most importantly, the lights since the beginning of last month. This year's show includes 45 minutes of both classic and modern Christmas music, timed with a lights display. The driving experience starts today. Admission for vehicles is $30. For larger vehicles, it's a little bit more expensive, but vehicles do have to be under 11 feet tall to go through the display. Christmas Nights of Lights runs every night from 6 to 10 until the end of the year. The space program is mourning another death. Frank Borman, born in Gary, Indiana, died this week at 95 years old. He was the commander of Apollo 8, the first mission to orbit the moon, on Christmas Eve of 1968. NASA's announcement of the death described Borman as a true American hero. Just last week, Borman's moon program contemporary, Frank Mattingly, also passed away. And to business headlines, a survey of 2,000 adults by a firm and one poll found that almost all people plan to holiday shop, yet nearly half have yet to start. While consumers are being particularly savvy about budget-friendly purchases, they're not going to be shy about their spending. In fact, 75% intend to spend more or the same amount as last year. Many restaurants, retailers, and recreational areas nationwide will honor veterans and current service members with free meals and other special deals for Veterans Day today and tomorrow. Some national chains with perks for military members are Applebee's, where you can get a free meal, Dave & Buster's, Bubba Gump Shrimp, and Golden Corral all have deals, and some last through Monday. I know locally here in Indianapolis, the Cunningham Restaurant Group, CRG, has several restaurants around town. They're offering veterans free meals as well. And other businesses too. You can search those easily on our website. Also, just put a little Google search in. Russia, Iran, and China are likely to engage in newly sophisticated influence and interference efforts ahead of the 2024 U.S. presidential election and in other pivotal elections worldwide. Microsoft says all 3 countries are expected to seek to shape geopolitical outcomes in their favor through Russia remains the most committed and capable threat to the upcoming American federal election. Microsoft's Threat Analysis Center predicts that foreign actors will shift from using influence campaigns to interference tactics, targeting election processes and infrastructure as Election Day 2024 draws closer. President Joe Biden threw his support behind the United Auto Workers' efforts to unionize employees at Tesla and Toyota. Biden is again backing the union's push for higher wages, benefits, and larger membership in the midst of the UAW strike against the legacy automakers. McDonald's and Krispy Kreme are discussing expanding their partnership to more restaurants beyond Kentucky. There's kind of a test pilot there done in Kentucky. The 2 restaurant companies started working together more than a year ago to serve Krispy Kreme donuts at McDonald's restaurants. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.